Today, let us understand like and unlike fractions. In this video, we will be studying like fractions and unlike fractions. We will understand the concept of comparison, addition, and subtraction of these fractions. Let us begin. What are like fractions? Let us understand. When the numerator is different for all given fractions and the denominator is same, the fractions are called like fractions. Here we can see that the numerator 1, 3, 2 are all different in these fractions, but their denominator is the same. They are examples of like fractions. Suppose I have a packet of biscuits having 12 biscuits. Here, if I take 3 out of these 12 biscuits, it is represented as 3 by 12. If I take 5 out of the 12 biscuits, it's called as 5 by 12. This is an example of like fractions. 3 by 12 and 5 by 12 are like fractions. Suppose I have a melon and I cut it into 3 parts. Now, if I take one part out of the 3 parts, it's represented by 1 by 3. If I take 2 parts out of the 3 parts, it's represented by 2 by 3. These are again like fractions. Comparison of like fractions. When we have like fractions, comparison is just comparison of the numerators. We don't have to do anything more. Suppose 1 by 4 and 3 by 4 are given to you. We compare 1 and 3. Here 3 is greater than 1. Therefore, the fraction 3 by 4 is greater than the fraction 1 by 4. When we have like fractions, it's just the comparison of the numerators as we have seen. Addition of like fractions. Let us understand. When we have like fractions, addition is just addition of the numerators. 1 by 4, 3 by 4 and 2 by 4 are like fractions. If we have to add these, we have to just add the numerators and we get the result. 1 plus 3 plus 2 is equal to 6, which gives us a fraction 6 by 4. Another example, if we have 1 by 7, 3 by 7 and 2 by 7, and if we have to add, we just add 1, 3 and 2 and we get the fraction 6 by 7, which is the sum of the 3 fractions. Subtraction of like fractions. Like in addition, subtraction is just subtraction of the numerators. So if we have 5 by 4 and 1 by 4 and if we have 5 by 4, 1 by 4 and 2 by 4 and we need to subtract them, the answer is 5 minus 1 minus 2 divided by 4, which gives us 2 by 4. Another example. We have like fractions 5 by 9, 1 by 9 and 2 by 9. If we have to subtract all of these, it is just the subtraction of the numerators 5 minus 1 minus 2 upon 9 and it gives us the answer 2 by 9. So the comparison, addition and subtraction of like fractions is very easy. Understand this with real life example. We have seen that when we have a packet of biscuits, having 12 biscuits, and we take 3 and 5 out of them, if we have to compare them, it is nothing but the comparison of the numerator. If we have to add them, it is nothing but addition of the numerator. If we have to subtract them, it is nothing but the subtraction of the numerators. Now let us understand unlike fractions. When the numerator is same or different for all the given fractions and the denominator is different, the fractions are called unlike fractions. We can see, friends, that 155 here in two places the numerator is same. but everywhere the denominator is different, and this becomes unlike fractions. That means we have taken a part from some whole object which is cut into different parts. So we cannot say that these are like fractions. They are not like, they are unlike fractions because the denominator is different. Numerator can be same or different, but the denominator is different, hence it's called unlike fractions. Take an apple and cut it into two parts. When we take one part of the two parts, the fraction is 1 by 2. But if I cut it into four parts and if I take three parts out of it, the fraction becomes 3 by 4. Now 3 by 4 and 1 by 2 are unlike fractions. If we cut it into 8 parts and take 3 out of that, then all these fractions are unlike fractions because their denominators are different. In these two places, the numerators are the same, but we cannot call them like fractions because their denominators are different. These are unlike fractions. Same with a melon. If we take a melon and cut it into three parts and take one part out of the three, the fraction becomes 1 by 3. Now, if we cut the melon into 6 parts and take one part out of it, it becomes 1 by 6. And again, these are unlike fractions because the denominators are different. Now, comparison of unlike fractions. For comparing unlike fractions, we have to convert them into like fractions and then compare. We cannot compare unlike fractions directly. Suppose we are given these two fractions, 1 by 2 and 5 by 7. To make the denominators same, we first have to take LCM of these two denominators. That means we have to take the LCM of 2 and 7. We have learnt in our video on LCM how to calculate the LCM. LCM here is nothing but 14 because 2 and 7, it's a product of 2 and 7 here and it is 14. Then multiply the fractions so we get LCM in the denominator for both and they become like fractions. For example, 1 by 2, to make the denominator 14, we have to multiply it by 7. But if you can't just multiply the denominator by 7, you have to also multiply the numerator, right? So we get 7 by 14 as the product. Same with this, 5 by 2, 7 by 2, because 7 has to be multiplied by 2 to get the denominator as 14, which is equal to the LCM. When you multiply the denominator by 2, you will have to multiply the numerator also by the same number and we get 10 here. So we convert half into 7 by 14 and 5 by 7 into 10 by 14 and then compare. If you see 7 by 14 is less than 10 by 14. Therefore, we can say that half is less than 5 by 7. It is nothing but comparison of the numerators of the like fractions we have got as a result of the LCM operation done. Addition of unlike fractions. For adding unlike fractions, we have to convert them into like fractions and then add them. So suppose we are given these two fractions 1 by 2 and 5 by 7. To make the denominator same, we again do the LCM like we have seen in the previous case. LCM here is 14. Then we multiply the fractions by the numbers which give us denominator as 14. For example, for the fraction half, we multiplied the denominator by 7. We have to also multiply the numerator by 7 and we get 7 by 14. Same with 5 by 7 multiplied by 2. Both in the numerator and the denominator gives us 10 by 14. Now we have these become like fractions and we have to just add the numerators and we get 17 by 14. This is the result. So in any operation like comparison, addition, we have first converted the unlike fractions into like fractions and then done the necessary operation. Same with the subtraction. For subtracting unlike fractions, we have to convert them into like fractions and then subtract them. Given these two fractions, we repeat the operation like we have understood in the previous case and get the fractions 7 by 14 and 10 by 14, which are like fractions. We subtract them and we get the result as 3 by 14, and this is the answer. So friends, we understood this with numericals. Let us understand this with a real life example. Suppose we take a melon and cut it into three parts and take one part of the three. We get the fraction as 1 by 3. Suppose we cut it into 6 parts and take one part out of 6. We get the fraction 1 by 6. Now if we have to compare this, how do we do that? We have understood that first we have to convert this into like fractions. Now the LCM of 3 and 6 is nothing but 6. You can see that 2 and the recurrence of 3 is happening in both the places once. So we take 2 and 3 and then we get the LCM as 6. We convert 1 by 3 by multiplying it in 2 to 2 by 6 because we need 6 in the denominator since 6 is the LCM. We don't have to do anything here because 6 is already there in the denominator and we just take the fraction as it is. Now, what does this imply in real life? This means that this particular melon was further cut into 3 more parts so that we got totally 6 parts and we took 2 out of it, which is same as this. So 2 by 6 and 2 by 6 here are same. So when we are taking LCM, we are nothing but what we are trying to do is we are trying to make it into like fractions. And this is a real life example of this. This comes as it is because there are already 6 parts in it, which is equivalent to the LCM, that is 6. So we got 2 by 6 and 1 by 6. We can also visually see that 2 by 6 is greater fraction than 1 by 6. And when we compare the numericals, we get 2 by 6 is greater than 1 by 6. Now for adding this also it's very simple then because you have converted it into like fractions and addition is nothing but the addition of the numerators. So 2 plus 1 is equal to 3 and 6. Visually also you can see 1, 2 and 3. So this is the way it is done. And subtraction 2 by 6 minus 1 by 6 is nothing but the subtraction of the numerators and you get 1 by 6. This is the result, and visually also you can see that from 2 if you take out 1 you get 1. So we have completed the concept of like fractions and unlike fractions with real life examples. We have also solved some simple problems in comparison, addition and subtraction of like and unlike fractions. I hope friends you have enjoyed this video. I hope in future also you watch our videos. Thank you.